Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing on today? And welcome to the cafe. Guys, let me just tell you, you are in for a treat. I get to hang out. We get to hang out with author Liz Johnson. She is the author of Sometimes You Stay. And guys, let me just tell you, like I said before, you are in for a treat. I am smiling from ear to ear because I am totally fangirling. I'll tell you about where Liz and I met a little bit in just a bit, but I just want to let you guys know, if you have not done so already, like, tag, and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Come on down to the cafe and hang out with us on today. Not only that, grab your favorite beverage, pull up a seat, and get ready to have an amazing time with author Liz Johnson. And so, Liz, the way that we do it here at the cafe, my friend, introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Angela, just what a treat. Thank you so much for inviting me to join you today. I am just absolutely delighted, and I can't wait for you to share your version of our first meet. That was such a treat and so fun to meet you in person this summer. Yeah, so I'm Liz Johnson, and I write sweet contemporary romance novels. That's what I do by night. By day, I work in marketing, and I have 5 nieces and nephews who I love to dote on. They're all growing up super fast, but it's been, it's just, they're the joy of my life. I love being an aunt, and I love being their aunt specifically. I love to travel, and I do lots of reading and writing in my free time. And I don't know if it's considered free time when you're, when you're writing books, but still. Anyway, so I love to write, and lots of sweet contemporary romance. And most of my books are set on Prince Edward Island in Canada, home of Anne of Green Gables. And that's my very favorite place to visit, and my very favorite place to write about.
I love that. I love that. Well, Liz, welcome to the cafe. And I know their ears are itching and burning to know, how did we meet? Y'all, let me just tell you, Liz was one of the featured authors at Romance JonreCon 2025. And we were at this event together, and we were in, I guess it was one of the meet and greets, I guess, at the beginning.
Yes.
It may have been like the first day of the conference or what have you. And so we're meeting all this stuff, and she was like, I'm Liz Johnson. And y'all, I've been seeing her on social media, and I've been seeing this book, Sometimes You Stay. And this is Liz Johnson, the Liz Johnson. Y'all, I was totally fangirl. I probably freaked her out, or what have you, but it was just so amazing to meet her in person. Liz, I'll let you tell your version, but that's my version.
No, it's so right. No, it was so funny because we ended up we were both staying at hotels off site, of course, because it was at a library. And and so the driver came by and picked Angela up.
We had the same driver.
And
Y'all, we were special. We had drivers.
That's like maybe the first and only event I will ever go to where I have a driver, but it was a delight, and it was such a treat. And a shout out to Mid-Continent Public Library in Kansas City. They were amazing. They host a fantastic event.
They
So
do.
the driver picked me up, and then we swung by to pick Angela up at her hotel. And she gets in, and I'm like, "Oh, hi, I'm Liz." And she's like, "Oh, nice to meet you." And like, we're chatting a little bit. It's like but it's early, and I'm not like, like fully like awake yet, whatever. And, and then
Right.
we get to the library, and we're in the green room, and we're talking, and all of a sudden Angela's like, "Oh, you're that Liz." It was like, yeah, I'm that Liz.
Right. So we've had a whole car ride to the hotel. And again, we are just talking and just, enjoying ourselves. But yeah, it was like at that moment, and I was like, wait, you're Liz Johnson, it was hilarious, guys. But again, I'm super duper excited that Liz is able to hang out with us today, guys, and talk about her new release, one of her newest books. It is called Sometimes You Stay. And so, Liz, we're going to get right into it, my friend. The first thing that we got to talk about is we have to talk about this cover, which I love. But for you, what was that like when you received your final version of what the cover was going to be for Sometimes You Stay?
Yeah. Oh man. So I just have to say that I work with an amazing publisher, Revell Books out of Grand Rapids, and they're incredible. And they have designed amazing covers for all my books with them, and I'm so thankful. But when I started like talking about what I wanted for this cover, because authors are sort of asked, like, we're given this big questionnaire and you have to fill it out, and it's called the Title and Packaging Questionnaire. And so you have to like give them title suggestions and like what you want to see on the cover. And I gave them like my best, like, here's everything I know about the story. And the funny thing is, you're giving this to them and you haven't even finished writing the story. Like, I think I had written 4 chapters at that point. And I was like, well, guys, I don't 100% know where we're going with this. So I gave them the best I could. But the thing that I knew about the story is it was about a social media influencer, a digital content creator, and a guy who is a dog trainer, and he trains Newfoundland dogs in Prince Edward Island. And I was like, this is what I know about the story so far. And I rarely put animals in my books. And I don't know why that. It's probably because I don't actually have any pets. I love animals, but I'm not home enough to like take care of a dog. I travel a lot. And so I would feel so bad for my puppy. And so anyways, so I rarely remember to put animals into my books. And this time I was like, it's all about the animals, this book. And so anyway, so when I told them I really wanted a Newfoundland dog on the cover, they were like, okay. And then all of a sudden they send me back this gorgeous illustrated cover. And I just was like, what?
I love it.
It just was such a delight. And then just, oh my gosh, that dog. So in the book, the dog's name is Joe Jr. And he fits this image just perfectly.
And Liz, we have to talk about the name. I was like, Joe, love it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So anybody who has seen While You Were Sleeping, it's a classic rom-com and one of my all-time favorites. But there's a character in While You Were Sleeping named Joe Jr. and he's just a little bit off. He's just a little bit of a kind of just a weird dude. And so, but he's one of my favorite characters in the movie because he just, every time he's there, he's like, making a mess of things. And so anyway, so as I was thinking about this dog who he's turned into Finn, the main character's pet, because he couldn't train him because the dog refuses to be trained. Like, he does not do anything that he's supposed to do. So I just was like, what other character do I know who's a little bit like that? And so anyway, so in the book, Finn's mom named him Joe Jr. because she was like, oh no, he's just like this character in the movie. And it's so true. So yeah, he's just a little bit of a doofus dog, but he's such a sweetheart. And
you will fall in love with him.
Yes. And he does what he's supposed to do when he's supposed to do it.
Yes.
But, he's not good. He's not good to be like a rescue dog, like all the other dogs that Finn trains. But when they really need him, he comes in a pinch. Yeah,
absolutely. Oh my goodness. And of course, we have to talk a little bit about this title. Again, Liz, I want you to know that when I first saw the book, the cover captured my attention. And then the title, I was like, count me in,
yes.
Or what have you. So Sometimes You Stay. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that title. Was that your original working title?
No.
Or it came later? Spill some tea.
Yeah, for sure. So it definitely came later, and it was not even on my radar. Okay, so confession time. I'm terrible at titling my own books. And so very often when I turn in that title and questioning titling and packaging questionnaire, there we go, to my publisher, they'll ask me like, what's your working title? And I'll be like, book number 2. Because don't have great ideas. But they ask you for like, what are the themes of the book and what are this and that and the other. And like one of the big themes of this book is we have a nomad, a digital nomad. She literally does not have a home. She has no place to live. And she spends 100% of her time traveling the world and creating content while she travels. And she's got this huge following and they support this lifestyle for her. And she loves it. But it means that she never stays put in any place. She doesn't put down roots and she doesn't have friends. Like she doesn't have real life in-person friends, people that she can go to and lean on. And so I just wanted to explore that with her. And so anyway, so when my publisher was like, hey, what do you think of this title? Sometimes You Stay. I was like, that's the one. That's the one right there. I want that one. They were like, yeah. So again, so thankful to the marketing and editorial team at Revell. They are brilliant and I could not do it without them.
Now, oh my goodness, and I'm so glad that you shared that, but you have to share with us, Liz, as a writer, and this is kind of like giving us some behind the scene, but what brought you back to Prince Edward Island as well as the Red Door Inn?
Yeah, so
for this story.
I adore Prince Edward Island. So I visited for the first time in 2010. And of course, like I grew up like a lot of folks just loving Anne of Green Gables. And I watched all those like the 1985 PBS Anne of Green Gables with my mom when I was a kid. And I loved Prince Edward Island. But I didn't read the Anne books until I was in college. And so my mom had lent me her copy of the series and I read them all in one semester and I loved them. And so I always when I was deciding I was going to write a book and I said, Mom, I'm going to take you to Prince Edward Island to celebrate when I sell my first book. And she laughed at me and I was like, Mom, I was like, and to this day, I always say, I don't know if she laughed at me because she didn't think I would ever sell a book or because she didn't think I would spend my money on her. And she always says, oh, no, I thought you would sell a book. And I was like, well, okay. She thought I would sell one book. Sometimes You Stay is book, I think 25. So I think I've done okay and made Mom proud. But anyway, so I took Mom to PEI on 2010 and it is just the most gentle, beautiful, soothing, peaceful place I've ever been.
Wow.
And the first time I was there, I just remember having this moment where I just was like, I could take a deep breath and just be like, this is a place where broken hearts can find healing. And
wow.
Aren't we all broken? Like, right? Like we all have areas in our life of hurt and pain, and we need to find healing for those. And I just kept thinking like PEI is the place to do that. And so I keep going back to PEI. I've been 6 times. And I love it more every time I go. And so when it was time to think about writing this book, I just said, man, where would somebody who doesn't have a home, where's a place that would make her even possibly think about and consider staying? And so PEI was just the natural place. Yeah. And
I love that.
My first PEI book was called The Red Door Inn.
Okay.
And so, and it's about an inn with a red door, surprisingly enough. So I wrote a series set there at the Red Door Inn that came out 2016, 2017. And and it just felt like it was time to go back and revisit and check in with old friends and see how they're doing.
Wow. Well, thank you for returning.
Yeah.
Guys, if you are just joining us, I am hanging out with the Liz Johnson. We're talking about her newest release. It is called Sometimes You Stay. And guess what, guys? It's available in ebook, print, and audiobook as well. We'll be sharing with you in just a bit how you can get your hands on a copy. Of course, Liz, in just a few moments, she'll be sharing a little bit, reading just a little snippet for you guys as well. But Liz, I want to talk about the puppies just a little bit more, my friend. Is there is there a scene involving Finn's dog's breeding business that you just absolutely enjoy, that you was just tickle pink, like when writing it or what have you? Can you spill a little bit of tea on one of those scenes for us?
Oh man. Oh, like all the dogs or all the scenes with the dogs. I loved them so much. But like probably my favorite scene with Finn's dogs is in the opening chapter when Krisha and Finn have a literal run-in. And it ends
guys.
up literally they have a run-in, and somebody, I won't name names, somebody ends up in the harbor and totally soaked and like being dragged down into the harbor. And Joe Jr., for all his doofusness, he decides he's gonna jump in and try and rescue the person in the water. The problem is the person in the water doesn't know Joe and doesn't realize that this giant hairy beast is not a bear.
It's not a bear. Y'all, it's hilarious. Imagine someone saving you, but you also see like what you think is a bear coming towards you as well. So definitely like fight or flight for real in her mind.
Yes. Like she's pretty sure she's going to lose a limb. She's pretty sure she's, this is the end of it. And yet Joe ends up anyway. So that's probably my favorite scene. It's so funny to think about it, but also like ends up being really sweet and just, just a really special moment. Yeah.
No, I love this because, guys, she is like a social media influencer. But like she said, she's a nomad. She doesn't really have a permanent place or what have you. But when you think about that, if Krisha was to post a reel about her unexpected stay at the Red Door Inn, what would the caption be? Like off the cuff, what would her caption be?
Oh no. Okay, let's see. Man. Well, okay, so she does end up posting a reel and some videos about Finn and his menagerie of animals, because not only does he raise animals, he has a barn full of strays that nobody else wants. And she does post about a really cute little Highland mini cow. That's very adorable. But I have a feeling like if she were to really post from the depths of her heart, she would post about Roberta, who's the one-eyed cow, who gives her side eye every day, like constantly staring her down. And I think it would be something like, it would be a video of Roberta staring at her and something about, I feel like somebody's always watching me. And sure enough, Roberta always is watching.
Guys, as you can see, there are some interesting animals in Sometimes You Stay as well. If you guys are just joining us, we're hanging out with Liz Johnson talking about her newest release, Sometimes You Stay. And Liz, I know that they are ready to just hear just a little bit of Sometimes You Stay. So I'm going to allow you to kind of set the scene and the stage for us, and you can start reading when you're ready.
Awesome. Well, I'm just going to read from the very first page, the very first line. And I just have a couple paragraphs for you guys, but hopefully it'll set the scene. So Lucretia Martine wasn't willing to call a single corner of the world home, at least not for more than a few days. And she would know. She'd seen nearly every tourist trap and secret alley of every city worth visiting. She'd eaten croissants at the coziest Paris cafe and sipped tea from vendors in a bustling Turkish bazaar. She'd seen the Colosseum lit up at night and Machu Picchu on an unusually sunny day. She'd seen the most amazing things the world had to offer, and none of them had tempted her to stay put. But the view of North Rustico Harbor on her phone's screen as she panned across the landscape was almost enough to change her mind. Almost.
Guys, there you have it. Just a snippet of Sometimes You Stay by Liz Johnson. Now, Liz, oh my goodness. When you think about, and again, this is a little bit behind the scene, were there any scenes of Sometimes You Stay that surprised you? Like you may have had it like laid out that it was going to go this way, but then the characters started talking and it totally went another way. Are you able to spill a little bit of tea about that?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Man, I love that. That part of writing for me is always the discovery. I am very much a pantser, and I like to think of it as a discovery writer. Like I want to discover the story the same way that my readers get to, and so I
Mhm.
don't spend a lot of time plotting. Although I always say I cheat because I write romance, so I know, we know there's going to be a happy ending coming. But yeah, but the how they get there is the exciting part for me. And so when I was writing, sometimes you say there were there was definitely a moment, and this happens in a lot of books that I write, where I have the moment of like, how is this going to come together? I have all these different parts, and what are they going to, how are they going to come together? And for this book, there were just there was a moment, and again, I don't want to give too much away, but I'll just say that Finn and Krisha have these growing feelings for each other. He definitely falls first, which is super adorable.
I love when you fall for it.
I know, I do too. Uh, and they have these growing feelings, but she is always going to leave. Like she always knows that she's going to leave. And so in like I anticipated, they're just going to pack as much romance into their time together as they can. And then there was this moment where Finn goes to kiss Krisha, and he stops himself. And he says, I want to protect you. Like, I like you way too much to keep pursuing something that we both know can't end well.
Uh-huh,
And
uh-huh.
to me, it was like Finn was like the hero in that moment. Like he just stood up, and it was like he wanted this so much, and yet he chose what was best for her. And I just think
Mhm.
like, oh man, that just makes me swoon every time. Like when a guy is like, I'm going to choose what's best for you, even if it's not what I really want in this moment. Like what, and even what we both say we want this moment together. We want as much time as we can have, but to be thinking long term about her health and her well-being above his own desires. I was like, oh, sign me up right now. Like,
But bring
okay, I'm
out the
swooning already.
swoonometer.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, yes.
Exactly. So yeah, so I was totally like, I did not anticipate that. And when I wrote that, all of a sudden I was like, Finn, what are you doing? Like, just kiss her, man. Because I sort of have a saying that like when in doubt, just add a kiss. Like that's, and my
And
writer
look,
friends,
Finn was like, other plans.
other
We have
plans
other
were
plans, Liz. We have other
going,
plans.
use us while we be mature and like thoughtful and caring and loving towards the woman that we're falling in love with. Oh, all
Yes.
right, Finn. All right.
No, Liz, speaking of Finn, we got to talk about the characters just a little bit.
Yes.
If you had to describe Finn's character, how would you describe his character for us? Introduce.
Man. Yeah. Oh man, I love Finn. Finn is just like he's just a solid guy. He's a man of integrity, and he loves the land that he grew up on. He's a fourth generation owning the same
Yeah.
farm on Prince Edward Island, and so it's like
Wow.
he's the third generation to own this dog training business. And so like family is so important to him, and so is like history and legacy, and the legacy that he's going to leave, and the one that his dad and grandfather left to him. And so he feels that really strongly and intensely, but he's never going to leave the island. Like this is his home, and this is his place and his land, and his legacy is tied to the red clay of Prince Edward Island and the
Yeah.
animals that he loves so much, and that he cares for. And man, and I love it too because he collects strays. Like everywhere he goes on the island, people know him as like, oh, he'll take in a stray. So he's got all these
Right,
stray
right.
animals that nobody else wanted, and he takes them into his barn. And even if he doesn't know how to care for them, like there's some baby goats there's a mama goat that he took in, and she was pregnant, so now he has 3 goats. He doesn't know what to do with them, and he doesn't know how to care for them, but he's like, I'll figure it out.
I'll figure it
Like
out.
I'll talk to, and he's got his friend across the street is a dairy farmer. So he's asking him questions, and, like, he's like, I will care for the people in my, under my umbrella. Like I'm gonna care for whether they're an animal, whether they're a person, whoever is with me, I'm gonna care for them, like really care for
Mhm.
them. And I love that. But he's also very solitary in that he believes that he has to succeed on his own. Due to some things that
Mhm.
happened when he was younger, he thinks that in order to prove himself, especially to his dad, he has to succeed on his own and he cannot accept help. And along comes Krisha, who not only wants to help him, but encourages him that he does not have to do it alone. And the way that he
Yeah.
cares for others, they want to care for him too. And it just like it warms my heart because I'm just like, that's like the definition of community, right? Is like we are not in this life alone and we're built and made to be part of a community and we're not supposed to be doing it all on our own. And so yeah, it's one of my favorite parts about him is like his journey of like learning and understanding that. But man, he genuinely cares about people and I love that about him.
And Liz, it really sounds like you totally enjoyed writing his character
I
as
did.
well.
I
Now, for
did.
Krisha, if
Yep.
you had to describe her in 5 words, what would you
Yeah.
say about Krisha?
Oh man, only 5 words. Well, okay, she's a nomad. She's creative. She's super creative.
Oh, yeah.
She is homeless. Yeah. I mean,
In a sense.
she's in a sense, she's very homeless.
Yeah.
Uh, and she fears becoming her mom. She
Mm.
fears turning into her mother, who
Mhm, mhm,
we find out early on her mom had a lot of mental health issues and
mhm,
was a hoarder. And
mhm,
so for Krisha, home equals things and
mhm.
too many things to actually enjoy living in your home.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so yeah, so that's why she doesn't need a home because she doesn't want a home because she's
Right.
afraid she'll turn into her mom. So
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Now, okay, Liz, think about the characters that make up Sometimes You Stay.
Mhm.
Is there a character that was fun, borderline exciting for you to
Yeah.
write? But on the flip side, is there a character that was a little more complex for Liz to
Mm,
flesh out?
mm. Oh man, no, that's really good. That's really good question. I think I I loved returning to some old friends. Like we get to visit some old friends in at the Red Door Inn.
Yeah.
Marie, who owns the Red Door Inn, and then we see so in the third Red Door Inn book, which is called On Love's Gentle Shore, I'm like, can I remember the names of my books? On Love's Gentle Shore, there was a character and her nickname was Mama Cheese Sandwich. And because the she owned a dairy farm. Her husband owned a dairy farm. And so she would bring cheese sandwiches to all the kids. And so the kids just called her Mama Cheese Sandwich.
Mama cheese sandwich.
And so when I went to put her in this book, I realized, oh, she's not going to introduce herself as Mama Cheese Sandwich. And so I had to go back and figure out what her name was. I was like, I'm rereading that third book, like trying to go back through it. Anyway, so like there were a few things like that it was like just going back and revisiting them was so fun for me. I really enjoyed that. But in terms of like the challenges in writing these stories is like for me it's like I don't fear becoming my mom, like,
Mhm.
and I had a really healthy childhood. Like I'm so blessed and so grateful I had a wonderful childhood. And um so when I look at Krisha's story and how she struggles with that, like then
Mhm.
for me I had to find like other touch points where she and I connected,
Okay.
that the things that I could understand why she might respond this way or what would cause her to do this or that. And so, but for me, that's the discovery part of writing. And it's
Mhm.
really fun for me because I love the emotions in a story and the way that a character is really like, even when they're struggling themselves and trying to figure out like why do I feel this way, and a lot of times my characters are struggling with that because I'm the writer going, I don't know why you feel this way, you got to tell me like what's
Yeah.
going on, why do you feel this way. So but that was really challenging for me to really dive into her character, but I loved it because I set her home where she's from is San Luis, Arizona, which I'm from Yuma, Arizona, which is just like just a couple miles apart, but right on the Mexico border. And so
Yeah.
just, like I felt like, okay, we have a lot of connections there. Like her high school experience wasn't too dissimilar from my own, things like that. And so those were really fun connection points, but really diving into the whys of why, what she had dealt with and why that affected her the way it did was hard.
Wow. And again, Liz, thank you for kind of sharing like the behind the scene of your writing process and writing those scenes with her and connecting with the characters as well too. So definitely thank you for sharing. Now, Liz, of course, here at the cafe, my friend, we have to play a round of this or that. And I promise you that there is no right or wrong answer. It is all things according to Liz Johnson. And guess what? We made it just a little bit sweeter, okay? Because it is this or that sometimes you stay edition, okay? Okay, so first up, carry-on suitcase or cozy closet? Carry-on suitcase or cozy closet?
No, I'm not a carry-on suitcase person, so cozy closet.
Okay, okay. Next one is spontaneous adventures or planned routine? Spontaneous adventures or planned routine?
Planned. Yes, I don't do well with spontaneous because
Liz is like planned. Period. Planned. Okay.
I need time to pack all the luggage to go with me. Yeah.
Okay. Now this is a fun one, Liz. You ready? Meet cute collision or slow burn friendship?
Oh man. Oh. Well, I think because of sometimes you say, I have to say meet cute collision because it's like maybe
one
of my favorite meet cutes I've written. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I mean, this is one of the meet cutes of meet cutes. And Liz, I love a good meet cute. And this one, I loved it. I loved it. Okay.
So glad.
All right. Red Door Inn or Seaside Cottage?
Oh, Red Door Inn, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you cannot beat Caden's breakfasts. Like she makes breakfast every day at the B&B. So no, you can't pass that
up. Okay. Now, Liz, this is a good one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Home as a place or home as a person?
Person. Home as a person. Yep, 100%.
I love it. And Liz, the last one is we have to know here at the cafe, are you team tea or are you team coffee?
Oh, I'm team neither. Oh, okay. I'm the worst. I'm team Diet Dr. Pepper. Yep. Sorry, I don't drink tea and I don't drink coffee, but I will guzzle a Diet Dr. Pepper like nobody's business.
Look, let's go Dr. Pepper for Liz. Okay, y'all already. So Liz, so now inquiring minds want to know, is that one of your writing snacks? Like, do you have like a go-to of things do you have to have a couple of, do you have a 6-pack when you're writing or what?
Well, it's true. When I go on a writer's retreat, like sometimes I'll like get like a Airbnb or something and I'll just like go to a little cabin for a long weekend. And I bring a 12-pack of Diet Dr. Pepper with me every time. I'm like, here we go. Just, and I don't necessarily drink the whole thing in a weekend, but I have to have it just in case.
Hey, you have to make sure you have your supply handy. Okay.
Yes. We've got to feed the brain, right? Feed the creativity.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Liz, let me just tell you, the time goes by so fast, my friend. I've had an amazing time hanging out with you, talking about your new release, Sometimes You Stay. And guys, there is a giveaway. There is a copy of the book that will be sponsored that Liz is giving away on today. And Liz, what we do here at the cafe, my friend, is I'm going to go up and down the comment section, but you're going to help me. You're going to tell me when to stop. And that person that we land on, they will be the winner of a print copy of Sometimes You Stay. Are you ready, my friend?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's see. I am ready. Give me 1 second. Let me get it ready. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Let me take that down. Okay. I am ready when you are. So when you tell me when to stop, that person will be the winner.
All right. Stop.
Okay. I clicked on it. Let's see. Myra Cook, you are the winner, my friend. If you will inbox us your information, we'll be sure
Awesome.
to get that information out, and you will get a print copy of Sometimes You Stay by Liz Johnson. Again, Liz, it has been amazing, my friend. But I want for you, for our last
Thank you
question,
so
can you
much.
share with us what did you enjoy about bringing Sometimes You Stay to life and to the world to enjoy?
Oh man, every part of it. It was such a joy for me to get to write it, and just get to spend time with these characters. And they feel like old friends to me, and I hope that they will feel like old friends to readers too.
I love that. I love that. And Liz, of course, for the moment that we have been waiting for, please share with us, how can we get our hands on a copy of Sometimes You Stay?
Yeah.
And guys, like I told you, it is available in audiobook, ebook, and print. And Liz is going to share with you how you can get your hands on a copy of Sometimes You Stay.
Yeah, well, you can get a copy anywhere that books are sold. If they don't have it in the store, like if you go into a Barnes and Noble, they can order it for you. Otherwise, you can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or if you visit my website, lizjohnsonbooks.com, under my listing of books, you can click on this one, and I've got a whole bunch of links there where you can find it available at a bookstore near you.
I love that. I love that. And Liz, please share with us, my friend, how can we stay connected with you?
Yeah, I love chatting with readers and talking with readers. So I've got a newsletter at my website, lizjohnsonbooks.com. I send out like 8 to 10 emails a year. So not even once a month, but just checking in. I always do giveaways and fun things like that in my newsletters. So I invite followers to join me there. And I always ask questions and invite feedback because I'm looking for reader input and just things like that. And then also on social media, I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Liz Johnson Books.
I love that, guys. Be sure to stay connected with Liz Johnson. Make sure you go to her website, check out her backlist as well. Of course, read Sometimes You Stay. In addition to that, guys, sign up for her newsletter, all of that good stuff as well. Liz, again, it has been amazing hanging out with you on today. And I want to allow you, my friend, to have the last words of what you want to say to the people tonight.
Oh man. Well, thank you so much, Angela. Just what a joy, what a delight you are. And I'm just so thankful for this time to get to chat with you. And I just want to say thank you to everybody out there who's been watching and listening. And just happy reading. I hope that you're reading something wonderful and really enjoying it this week.
I love that. I love that, guys. And there you have it. Liz Johnson, her newest release, Sometimes You Stay, as we shared, available in audiobook, ebook, and print. You can get you a copy. Be sure to stay connected with her. In addition, guys, once you read this story, let me just tell you, please leave Liz a review. I know that she would be so appreciative of you guys doing that. And not only that, guys, tell a friend to tell a friend about Sometimes You Stay. That's our show on today. And as we always say, have an amazing day, because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Get a copy of Sometimes You Stay. Bye-bye.